think it's you know, the white flares and just Daddy-o, straight from the fridge, man.
Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you how I made my Rose Tyler Idiot's Lantern dress. This was definitely an ongoing project. It took almost a year with my injury and wedding planning, so the footage is a bit sporadic, so just bear with me. I started with going to thrift stores and I found these perfect heels. They're black and open-toed and only $2, so I just needed to paint them pink. I found this statement ring on Etsy. I will link the shop below if it's still available. And then I also got this dress pattern from Joann Fabrics, and I decided to just use the bodice part. I believe I used letters C if anyone is curious. I did quite a bit of research on her earrings. I tried to find something similar, but me being a perfectionist, I just wanted it to be exact, so I found a tutorial and I went on a bead shop and I bought all the beads, and my mom helped me put the earrings together because I suck at jewelry making and she's just the best. I will link the websites that I used and also the tutorial because that really helped me a lot. I then purchased all my fabric. I found this amazing mesh fabric on Etsy. I will also link that below because this took forever to find, so I'll make it a little easier for you guys. And then I also got satin fabric in Primrose from Joann Fabrics. So I started with just a mock-up of the bodice and skirt, and then I moved on to the actual fabric. I started with just cutting out the bodice pieces for the satin and the mesh fabric, pinned those together. I then sewed all the pieces together, but I actually don't recommend doing this, or maybe doing a different way, because I sewed the actual sequence and I broke a needle. So just be really careful if you do it this way. I don't recommend it. And then once all those were done, I took all the pieces and sewed them together to make the bodice. Then I realized I needed lining because it became very itchy with all the sequins, so I purchased some light pink lining fabric at Joann's, created the bodice again. I ironed all the seams and then attached it to the bodice. After watching many tutorials, because I decided to go away from the pattern that I was using for some reason, I understitched the lining so it wouldn't slip up. So you just push all of the seam towards the lining and then sew on the seam. So now when I wear it, the lining won't come through the top. So that's how I understood it anyway. Also, don't forget to eat. Cosplay is a big job. For the skirt, I ended up using one inverted box pleat in the middle, and then the rest were knife pleats. They were each about an inch, I believe. I had about 28 pleats in total. Once my mock-up was done, I started on the actual skirt, but then realized I had cut my mock-up fabric. I don't even know what I did, but it just didn't work out, so I ended up spreading it all out and then cutting it. And this is me playing with too much fabric because I got way too much. So yeah, just be careful when you are cutting your fabric because sometimes it doesn't always work out how you imagined it. I then marked my 1-inch pleats and pinned it together, and then sewed all of the pleats, and once that was done, I sewed the skirt to the bodice. So this is what it looked like so far. Don't mind the failed attempt at a zipper because I fail at putting zippers in and I got the wrong size. I then cut away some sequins so that I could put in a zipper. At first I tried to do it with the sequins and it failed miserably and I had to unstitch it and it was horrible, so don't do it. And I also ended up finishing the edge just to make it easier. So this is what the dress looked like so far. I was able to find the jacket at Salvation Army about a year ago. The color's a little off, but it was just pretty much too perfect to pass up. And I also got it for like $5. I then put a clasp at the top and lined the inside and attached some straps. I then got a cheap petticoat on eBay. And I mean cheap because just spreading my legs, I ended up ripping the lining. For the shoes, I started by sanding off the glossy finish that was on them. I used acrylic paint and it took about 5 coats to get the desired pink I wanted. I also ended up using painter's tape to block off the black strips on the heel part, and I left a little black around the opening of the shoe. For the bow, I just did a little sketch, cut that out, made sure it was the right size and shape. And then I traced it onto some foam board and painted that pink. Once that was dried, I then painted black around the edges. I then used super heavy duty glue to attach the bows to the shoes. And finally, I purchased a flower bead on Etsy and sewed it to the jacket. And that's it, guys. This really has been one of my dream cosplays, so I'm so glad that I was able to do it and I was able to actually finish it before my rehearsal dinner, which was super awesome. I also wore this to Boston Comic Con, so that was a lot of fun. Oh, and I got the vintage sunglasses on eBay. So that's it for the costume. Next I'm going to do Rose's hair and makeup, so if you want to keep watching, great. If not, that's okay, have fun. I hope that this helped. So I start by teasing the crap out of my hair because it can't hold form at all. It's so fine and thin. This took quite a while and I could even probably have done more, but my arms are getting tired, so I just start by teasing and then putting it in a low, loose ponytail and twisting it, and then putting that hair tucked away underneath the twist, if that makes sense, and then just pinning it. I also made sure to keep some bangs in the front. Unfortunately, my hair's a little too long for this hairstyle when I did this, so it looks a little funny, but you do what you gotta do, right? I'm no makeup artist, so this is just really simple stuff. I just used some cover up and then some BB cream, and then I set that with some loose powder. I then contoured my cheeks and jawline a little bit. I then took a dark brown eyebrow pencil and filled in my eyebrows. Using a very light eyeshadow, I applied that on my brow bones and eyelids. Using a black eyeliner, I lined my whole eye. and then curled my eyelashes and applied some heavy mascara. For the lips, I used a very neutral color, and I lined just above my Cupid's bow because Billie Piper has some very full lips and I have very thin lips, so I just needed to make them look a little bigger. And that's it! So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to help you out. Any Whovians out there, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!